Welcome, everybody, to another episode. Today, I am joined by Adam Sandlers Twin, Max Kessler. And if you remember from the do-over, Max Kessler was the main character, but it's also the person coming on the podcast. And I've watched every Adam Sandler movie that's ever been released, and now I get to sit down with Adam Sandler's body double from Happy Gilmore 2. Max, welcome to the podcast, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to see your journey. I feel like a lot of people grow up with Adam Sandler, and one of my favorite movies was The Do-Over. And to see you pop up on my For You page a couple of days ago, and to see like the story of how you even landed the role of being in Happy Gilmore 2, the coincidence between your name being similar to The Do-Over, Max Kessler, just give the audience some context as to like how did we get to today?
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those really crazy stories, right? Back in 2016, I was just on my phone and I saw that the Do-Over trailer came out, and Adam Sandler, who I've always been told I look like ever since I was 8 years old, his character's name was Max Kessler. You know, in that moment, I'm like, this can't be real. How can somebody that I've looked like for my whole life, his character in his movie, have the same name as mine? So I posted it to Reddit. I mean, this predates Instagram, it predates TikTok, and I posted it to Reddit.
Yeah.
And it got 10 million views. And from there, I was invited out to the premiere and met him on the red carpet.
Just the fact that I want to go back to that moment. I feel like, I don't know about you, I'm a somewhat spiritual person, and to just have the world like your person you look like, and not only that, it's not just like any random person that you have a doppelganger as. It's Adam Sandler, which I would argue is like one of the best comedians who's ever lived in our time, and you do look like him, shockingly, and you have the same name as his main character in The Do-Over. Well, how do you like settle with that? Was there any like moment like this needs to happen? Like if I don't know, like for whatever reason, if you posted that Reddit and no one saw it, which some people that are obscure online, they post things and they don't get seen, what would have happened? Like, how did you process all of it?
Yeah, you know, it's actually, out of all the questions I've ever been asked, I've never been asked this question, and I really enjoy, I'm happy you asked it. I think in that moment, I was like, he needs to see this. Like, someone needs to see this. It almost, over time, because I, had heard it constantly from friends, from family, from coworkers, that I look just like him. It almost became like a frustration. Like, I get it, right? Like, I look like him. I understand I look like him, but nothing is coming of it.
Yeah.
So when I did see that, I was actually a little bit nervous that, this was the moment that he was supposed to see and that he was supposed to get to know me. And that might be a missed opportunity. So I was for sure nervous in that moment.
I know from the social media world, because of what I do, I post on social media all the time for myself and other people. There's so many moments where you want the world to see it because it's important, and you put your heart into it and it goes nowhere. So the fact that it's like, I think something intervened, whether you go call it God or the world, to allow you to just like meet Adam Sandler. Because like, even if you post this Reddit thing and it gets millions of views, Adam just might not even see it. So there's like all these stars that need to align for that to even happen in your life. And even though it's like back in 2016, I think it really frames our conversation for like how important that moment was for what your life looks like now. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I would. I think that's sometimes missed in this whole Happy Gilmore thing, right? And I know we haven't gotten there yet, but is how the stars needed to align and everything needed to go right to even get to this point. And I do believe that, I don't know, it's almost too coincidental, too random, too weird, in a weird, not in a bad way, but just like weird, that it actually all, worked out and played out the way in which I would have hoped it would.
And what is your life like at this time? What are you doing for work? What are you trying to become as a human? I assume you're not making your life purpose an Adam Sandler body double.
No,
doing other things.
In 2016, I was just starting out my career. I was at KPMG at the time doing big.
My girlfriend works at PwC.
Oh, there we go. All right. So same type of firm, different letters. So I was just starting out in like the accounting world, right? Like living in New York City, hanging out with friends, doing my thing. Nowhere on the radar was Max, the potential actor, comedian, like social media, blah, blah, blah. Even on my mind at the time. when this went viral.
So for anyone that doesn't understand what we just said, like KPMG, PwC, the world of accounting, it's just very corporate 9 to 5. Like this is how things work. You work inside of a box. To go from that to this whole entire career field shift into acting is, I would argue, is one of the biggest shifts, because you go from something that is somewhat stable and something predictable if you follow the track of accounting, become manager, partner, and then you shift completely into the world of acting, which so the school I go to for college is SCAD, and I actually, my degree is in acting, and my inspiration to be an actor was Adam. I wanted to go to NYU to be an actor, and that was my whole track. And I've met so many people who are 35, 40 that have tried to be an actor. They're really talented. They know monologues, they know everything, but just like acting, just like what the moment you met Adam, to be successful in the acting world, stars need to align. You won't be successful on skill alone, where like KPMG or something, if you're just really good at accounting and you go to a good school, like you can make it. You really have no control over the success in the acting world. So that shift is really interesting to me, to be honest. What do you say to that?
No, yeah, I think you're spot on. I think it's, life, not to get too deep, but I think life is all about experiences, right? And I think if you're willing to put yourself out there, because the alternative to this was, I could have seen, the movie The Do-Over and his character's name, and I could have just ignored it and said, hey, not for me, like I want no part of it. And part of me did want to do that, just because like when you put your name out there and you understand like, what people can say about you and all that good stuff. I think, but to that point, I kind of wanted to jump on an experience. And I think me being able to have the somewhat confidence, or at least the want to live out these quote unquote experiences, it's allowed me to put myself in positions to be able to hopefully, win over some roles.
No, I love it. So you make the post, Adam sees it. What is your life like the night or morning of when you realize like he's seen it, and you now are going to get an opportunity to go to the premiere of The Do-Over, which, if you guys haven't seen this movie, it's incredible. It's one of my favorites.
It's great. I think it's just such a surreal moment, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, you're talking like, we hit on the KPMG point. We hit on like the normal 9 to 5 point. I mean, it's just never something that was on my radar. Like, I'm just like this normal person that had no interest per se in like exploring that type of atmosphere, that type of field. So I was just like head over heels, like, wow, this is going to be one of the coolest things that I'll ever get to experience. I remember like when, I went out there and when I did some interviews and all that good stuff, people would always say like, what's next? What's next? What's next? And my response would always be like, I just personally want to, and even to this day, continue to live in the moment and just, we'll see what happens. But there's, this is what's next right now.
Okay. So yeah, I would love for you to tell me the story. Just you are going to LA. I don't know, like, or where, I don't even know where the premiere was. What is the flight there like? Are you nervous? Like, then explain your whole like experience meeting Adam for the first time.
Yeah. Very nervous. And I think the funny, almost like the funny part about it is you would think that I would have, had a conversation or met him before the red carpet, outside of like our exchange of, a couple of Reddit post DMs. We hadn't met before the red carpet. So I'm walking down the red carpet and I'm doing interviews and, answering questions, even though, by the way, my only involvement is our shared name. Outside of that, I wasn't in the movie. I didn't have any sort of role or lines. So I'm doing the red carpet, and then I hear from the other side, hey, Adam, wants to meet you. Come on down. So you could see, that interview's out there, but it's nuts that was the first time in front of cameras and people and whatever that I had to like meet the guy and act as like nonchalant and normal as possible, even though you are freaking out behind the scenes.
Yeah. So, going into the red carpet, I think that interview, you're wearing a suit. Like, how did you prepare? Did you go buy a suit? Did you already have this from KPMG, or like, what did you?
I did. I was like Googling, I mean, this is before whatever, but I was Googling, what should you wear on a red carpet? And it's like fun, cool jacket. And I'm like, okay, like that's,
That's like how it
whatever. So
is.
I remember going with my friend to, I think it was Macy's. And we just like were looking around like this would look cool. This would look good. I mean, I think at this point I'm probably 23, 23 years old. And I don't even ask for a plus one. Like I'm going to this thing by myself. I'm just showing up to the red carpet by myself. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to ask for anything. So it was all new to me.
And so you meet Adam, the interview is a couple minutes long, and then what do? Do you just leave and you're just like wandering around wondering what to do? Or does Adam say, hey, follow me, we'll
Follow,
go?
yeah, yeah, follow me. So we do the interview, and then it's interesting. There's like at least at this premiere, and I don't know how they all are, but at least at this one, there was like a little back room. So after you kind of do the red carpet and all that good stuff, there's like a little back room with some drinks and appetizers, and the cast is there. So I'm with Adam and hanging out with him, in this back room, and it's kind of the in between when the movie starts and the red carpet. You're just mingling and hanging out, taking a few photos. People are asking us a couple additional questions, and then I actually ended up then, of course, sitting and watching the movie. I don't think I sat next to Adam. I'm trying to think of who I even sat next to, but watched the whole movie, and then they have an after party, locally, right by that theater.
Who was in that premiere room? I assume like all the cast,
Yeah,
the 80s, like the whole crew.
yeah,
What
yeah.
was that
It,
insane to see
it,
like
it
all these
what?
actors? Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean, like it was my first taste of like, wow, like look who you're in the room with, and they're all in this world. So to them, like we're all hanging out, like we are, whatever. But to a normal, person like me who's never been around, one famous person, let alone like 50 plus, I was just like, and I'm by myself. I don't have a guest. So people are probably like, who is this weirdo? But you're just trying to kind of have the best time you can and act as normal as you can, not too fandom.
Yeah, and is it easy to like walk up and be like, "Hi, my name's Max Kessler," and it's like
Yeah,
Jennifer Aniston or something?
it it's funny because like a lot of the people there kind of had heard the story about like who I was, and so they had some sort of like familiarity with me and with the story,
Yeah.
which actually lightened the mood up a little bit. So I wasn't like a total stranger walking into these situations. But for sure, I mean, you're walking up next to actors and actresses and musicians and so on that are super, super experienced and super qualified in their field and polished. Um, and you're just trying to live up to the hype.
So the last question I'll ask about this premiere is,
Yeah.
uh, what's the energy like as you're watching the premiere? You're seeing it for the first time. I assume the whole entire cast is seeing it for the first time. Is
Yeah.
everyone laughing hysterically? Is everyone like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish this was better? I mean, like, I know Adam, like, he probably has critiques or like, what's the overall vibe of the the
Yeah.
the premiere?
It was great. I mean, watching and it kind of liaisons into the Happy Gilmore 2 stuff, but watching a movie with the people that were in it and worked on it and lived it and breathed it, it's just a different experience because these people are so proud, as they should be, of their work, right? And I think like when you watch with some like the costume people or the site visit people or whatever, cast, camera, and they see what I don't see, what the average person or the average fan doesn't see, they see because they worked on it and they lived it.
Yeah.
It's just such a different appreciation. So it was amazing watching that with them.
And then you do the after party and you go back to New York and you keep grinding the KPMG life, or what is life
Yeah,
after that like? It goes back to normal pretty quick?
back to normal pretty quickly. I mean, this is 2016, right? So it predates Instagram influencer lifestyle, right? It predates um, TikTok. So, after this, it's like, okay, well, you didn't even really act in a movie. I mean, you blew up, you had your 5 minutes of fame, but now you go back to real world. I I decided to take a stand-up comedy class just to kind of like get my feet wet and do that following this like moment in my life. But for the most part, it was back to that grind.
And how many years are you on that grind before you walk onto an acting set again?
So 9 years. So Happy Gilmore 2 was my first movie.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
pretty
cool.
insane.
So 9 years. So you almost think it's like we're done, like
Yeah.
we've done, like you had the 5, 10, 15 minutes of fame, you did it. And then
The curtain
9 years
goes up
later,
again. You're like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Matthew
yeah.
McConaughey talks about that. He's like, most people think like some problems or situations in life, like they end and then act three starts, and you're like, wait, I thought we were done with this. It's pretty insane. What so 9 years are, and you just keep working at KPMG, or are you at a different company? Like,
No, I moved
what is
around. So I moved around to another firm, corporate job still, and had been doing that. So stayed in the business world for that amount of time. Like I said, took stand-up classes on the side, got to perform at Gotham Comedy Club in the city, which was great a few times, and that was a lot of fun. And then, started to get my feet wet in social media. I think didn't do a whole lot with it again because it was kind of like ramping up when this was slowing down, but started to just have some fun with some skits and some stuff, and didn't do much of anything until I got the call about Happy Gilmore 2.
And who is that? Because in the acting world, for people that aren't familiar, we all sit by the phone after we do auditions, and like we just expect a call from an agent or somebody or casting director saying you got the part. Who is that person calling you to pitch you on Happy Gilmore 2, or is it Adam, or is it like what is that experience like?
Yeah, it's a really good question. It was someone in casting, and I can't remember what firm they had used to cast the film, or at least to cast myself. But it was somebody in casting, and they had reached out and said, hey, can you provide me with like your height, your weight, like standard stuff, picture you doing the Happy Gilmore swing or golf swing, I think it was. And then a couple days later, I got a call asking if I'd be interested in coming into the production office and meeting the team. And I did that. And that was kind of the next step in the process.
So that audition where you have to do the Happy Gilmore swing, most people when they audition for movies, they do like self tapes. They set up on a tripod like this, white background, and then they like read off some lines. Which people legitimately spend their entire life going through acting school and reading lines and doing auditions nonstop. Do you almost feel like you like skipped a huge like line just being able to do this with one of the biggest stars in the world?
Yeah,
having to do auditions every day of your life.
And trust me, like. And I am happy you brought it up because I'd like to say something. It doesn't get lost on me. Like, there are so many people who are so much more talented than I am. And I understand that, like, because I look like him, and it doesn't mean, I was assigned an acting coach. I was assigned a golf coach. I worked a lot of hours, and did a lot to be able to, execute what I needed to do on set. But with that being said, there are so many people who are just as worthy of this opportunity, if not way more worthy. So I carried that through on set, and it continues to carry through with me on how fortunate and how I can't take things for granted. But yeah, they when I got there to the production office, they asked, just small talk to make sure I was kind of like, I mean, Adam had met me, this is 2016, but to make sure I was kind of a normal person. And then they kind of asked like, hey, do you think you could, film in front of 1,000 people and hundreds of cameras and, whatever. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't really know if I could do this. Like, if you give me lines and you tell me where to go, I might freeze. But, I looked whoever it was at the time, I looked them in the eye and I said, absolutely, I can do that. So, you do anything to get the part, I guess.
Oh yeah, the fake it till you make it. I feel like
fake it till you make it.
Most people need to do that at some point in their life. So okay, and now you have the part. And do you return back to New York until filming starts? Because like filming doesn't start the next day, does it? Like you have some time.
No, so I have some time. I mean, lucky they filmed in New Jersey. So
right, yeah. I googled where they filmed it too, and I knew that they filmed it in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, all good. So it made it really convenient. So I production office, whatever. And then before we started filming, it was a lot of golf lessons for me.
Yeah.
I played golf, you just putzing around, but I've never done the Happy Gilmore swing, legitimately at least, and hitting it, pretty good. So a lot of golf lessons, a lot of acting lessons, and a lot of just like mental preparation and studying Adam really,
Yeah.
which was not, it's not easy, right? I mean, he's an unbelievable actor. So you have to get his cadence down, you have to get his movements down, his face, what he does, his body language, and it was a process.
I Now that we're on the set, like I wanna learn about
Oh
this.
yeah.
Is like what I think the world has like a perception of like Adam Sandler. The perception looks something like this. Adam doesn't dress like super professionally all the time. He just wears whatever he wants, very comfy, casual. He kind of like wears the same character in every one of his movies. It's repeatable, it's funny, like Happy Madison's production company casts his friends. Like it's almost like there's a certain way that Hollywood and people like put on movies, and then there's the Adam Sandler way. What is like some misconceptions that people like may carry around like the idea of Adam Sandler? Some people may say he doesn't take it seriously enough, or like
Yeah.
what do you find you discovered as you were there on
Yeah.
set with him?
Yeah. I He cares more about his craft and everybody else's craft more than anybody I've ever, met. And I can compare that. I can't compare that as much to the acting world, but I can compare that to the corporate world. And he is so detail oriented. He wants everything to be done right, and he's so professional, and you can tell like it is his passion. Um, with that being said, like he also throws in like the approachability factor, right? Like he's so approachable, and the lighthearted funny factor, and just the mentor factor, right? To me, but then to other people, even people that have been around for a while. So I think he really hits every checkbox of like what you'd expect from Adam, down to earth, funny, there for you, but then also mixed with like, I care so much about what we're making that I will do anything and everything to make this as good as it possibly can. It's a formula that has worked for him and should work, right, for so many others for many, many years.
I love it. Do you like while you're filming, how many days do you like do you how many call times do you end up getting? Are you there pretty
Yeah.
frequently? Are you there only for like the insert shots of when you're like traveling back in time?
Yeah.
That, and then also briefly before we go into that, for
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't understand what a body double is, can you define that, explain it,
Yeah, of
just so
course.
people have like a clear understanding of like who you are in that role?
Yeah, of course. So I'm there pretty frequently. I don't know the exact amount of days that they took to film Happy Gilmore 2, but I'm there quite often. I think I was there roughly 15 days, so 3 weeks on set and sprinkled in when they needed me, right? Um, for what my role was specifically, so I have to there's a lot of movie magic that goes into what they did surrounding my role that I'm not oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, my
Oh,
camera
okay,
turned
cool.
off. Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
No, all good. All good. Um, that I'm not able to really go into great detail on. But the scenes that I did film, they were throwback scenes of when he was younger, and then they used me and used some movie magic to make me look as similar to the real thing as they possibly could.
Are we like talking CGI or things like of that nature to like, I don't know, mold out any imperfections? Or I
Hmm.
I think like when I watched Happy Gilmore 2, I literally
Yep.
just thought that they had like old archive footage from the
Yeah.
first movie, and then they inserted that into it.
Yeah.
I
Of
mean, that's like literally where my brain went. I
course.
didn't even think that they like used you
Of
for those
course.
shots.
Yeah.
It's pretty
No, I mean
insane.
that's the natural like thought, right? Like I think that's probably what most people thought. Uh, And selfishly, I'm glad that they didn't have those old shots because I was able to kind of jump right in there.
That's super cool. And
Yeah.
so in the acting world, some of my friends do like stand-in work, body
Yep.
doubles for some like, for Baywatch and like the big movies and everything.
Course.
And they always come to me and they tell me these crazy stories of like, I'm thinking right now, like when Baywatch was filmed in Savannah, and Alexandria Daddario is like trying to figure out like what to do. Like the body double that was for one of the main actors, he was like he's from Savannah, so he's like showing Alexandria Daddario around like the city, and they're going on like they're hanging out, going to parties and stuff outside of the filming world. Like, was there anything like that where you know, cameras shut off, the day's done, we call wrap, whatever, like any experiences that you had with Adam, any fun stories or just like with the cast that like
Yeah.
you would want to share?
Yeah, I think it was just like a very personal relationship, meaning like, we got along really well. I mean, we would speak, and I'm talking about Adam specifically here, but he was super influential to me executing the part itself, but then also off camera was just, would ask me how I'm doing. I mean, we'd have a lot of conversations about New York, about just a bunch of different things. And I think it made it that much easier, and it made it that much more fun that I could have such a good relationship with somebody that I was working with, closely.
What's it like studying, like getting an acting coach? Is the acting coach
Yeah.
teaching you how to do acting or teaching you how to be Adam Sandler, or are you like doing both at the same time?
Both, both. I mean, these scenes were there was an emphasis on acting, right? So I think like there was a lot that goes into how you should act, pardon, whatever, but how you should act in certain situations. Like if the ball goes in the hole, like how do you kind of celebrate to make it look legitimate, and what cadence and how you do stuff. But then also like from the Adam standpoint, it's like, how does he walk? When he goes up to the ball, how does he look? How does he squint his eyes? Like, how does he do certain things? So you can do the best to your ability to like recreate some of those moments facially and body wise.
What is the hardest thing that you had to learn how to do that you didn't probably think that it was going to be that challenging?
I didn't think the hardest thing, like really quickly, the hardest thing was probably the Happy Gilmore swing. I think that was like just really challenging. But that was more physical. I think like acting wise, it was probably when I was reading some of the lines, and just trying to like remember the lines in the back of my mind, but then also portray them in a way where like natural and coming off, coming off as believable, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
That was probably the hardest, I would say, for me.
yeah. I think it's like a Sanford Meisner quote. It's like acting is just living playfully or being
Yeah,
pretending under truthful circumstances. It's like the whole point of acting is not to act; it's like to be completely
exactly.
believable in what you're doing. And I
Exactly.
wonder, from somebody who has never been in an insanely high production quality movie. Usually, like the track is like you go to school, you do lessons, you do a short film, then you do like a independent project, then you might do like a small little SAG film. Then it's like you scale your way up, but you literally just got thrown into like one of the
Yeah.
like the biggest production movies of our century. Like this movie will probably be
It might
seen
have been.
hundreds of millions of times, So what's it like cameras rolling and now it's like
I mean,
it's your time to
yeah.
perform?
And you're kind of putting me back in that mindset. And it just like, it's just so surreal. Like when they're about to, and it's hard because I couldn't really explain this to people because a lot of my friends aren't in the acting world. So like I would come home and I would try to explain to them what happened, but like they didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like the scenes that I filmed, there weren't a lot of other actors in those scenes. Like it was like me and maybe Julie Bowen and, a couple other people. So the scenes were primarily me or, Julie and whatever, a couple people.
Yeah.
So I remember when they were about to say action, like I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, like, can I do this? Like I'm freaking out. I mean, it got
Yeah.
easier, but the first couple of days, And I always joke, like people ask me, like, what was your best part? What was your favorite part? What do you love about what you did? My favorite part was leaving.
Yeah.
I would leave and I'd be like, I
Yeah.
cannot believe I just did that. Like, I feel
Yeah.
so relieved that I was able to do that, and laugh about it. But, don't get me wrong, it was really fun, but was it stressful at times. And in my own stress, it was me putting stress on myself, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah, like so the only thing I can compare this to is like I've been on, or like in class or whatever, or just even like I've been on like a Hulu show just as
Yeah.
like a small part, but it's like I understand 100% the pressure that you feel, and even in like a smaller like classroom setting, like being around other people who could judge you, like when they press like
Course.
action, and it's like your job in this moment is to be like you're not even Max Kessler anymore. Now you're Adam Sandler, cameras rolling, but you also have these other thoughts of the fact that like there's people around here, they're looking at me like, does the director
I
even
know.
think that what I'm doing is like real? Like, am I believable? And you have like all these thoughts. And yes, like my favorite thing would be leaving, like walking
Yeah.
off set and being like, all right, we're done with that.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
mean,
I get that totally.
yeah, like especially the first day, you're unproven, right? There's just no one's seen you act before. You're almost like, am I gonna get, and again, it's nothing nobody said. It's my pressure on myself, but you're like, am I gonna get fired? Like, are they gonna like what I'm
Yeah.
doing? Like,
Yeah.
I remember on the first scene, I think we only took like 3 takes, 4 takes, and I was like, that's it? Like, are you guys sure you got what you wanted? Did I mess
Yeah.
up? Like you're always just, whatever. But they kept me around. So I guess I did all right.
And what's it like when you wrap a shot or whatever, does Adam come over and say, "Congrats, good job"? Like, or is it, or what's the reinforcement like? Do you feel like, oh wow, I did it, and then Adam's like, great job, like that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I would walk. There's like Video Village or whatever
Video
you got.
Village.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So after I would do a take, I would go over there. Um, I would go over there to Video Village and I would kind of watch it and just like, in the background and just like wait if they had feedback or see their reactions or whatever. And typically when it was all done, say that they didn't need to do another take or whatever, he would come over to me and he'd be like, you did such a good job. Like, I'm so happy, like so proud of you. Like he was just very complimentary. And that helped. Like it just gave me that, more confidence, I would say, as time went on.
And Adam like directs this movie, right? He's acting in it, and he's also like partly directing it and producing it.
Producing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's on set every single time you're on set as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so I guess sometimes that might be lost, like for anyone that like might think, oh, if he's not being filmed, he's somewhere else. But it's like this is his movie, so he's here all the time. What do you get your own like trailer? Like what's that life like? Or are you like just like leaving, going back to New York after
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wrap on the
So
day? Or
yeah, no, I mean all that's really cool. It's just different. Like you get your own trailer, you get your costume people, you have what's it called? Craft services,
yeah,
crafty, whatever
crafty, yeah.
which is
What's
all
your
the
favorite?
food.
What do you like to eat at crafty, or do you
Oh
just
my God. So it's funny, like it depends. If I was filming in the morning, I would eat everything in the afternoon because I'd be done. But if I was filming in the afternoon, you wouldn't see me eat anything because I would be so nervous
yeah.
before I was about to go on. But yeah, you'd have like it's just hair and makeup and your trailer, and it was just so different. I think like what I try to do a lot of times is instead of be in the trailer, I tried to like walk around and go meet a lot of the extras that were in the stands and that were doing their thing. And
Yeah.
I tried to go check out the sets, and again I was busy with golf and acting coaches too when I was there, but I tried to like really enjoy it because you really don't know when you're going to be on a set ever again, if at
Yeah.
all ever again. So when
Yeah.
you're there, take it for what it is, enjoy the moment.
For anyone that's never been on an acting set, even as an extra, like when I was on a show for Netflix and Hulu and Lifetime, and like nothing to your level, it's just insane to see like trailers everywhere. And Crafty's like this massive table with like all these food options, and you just see like your favorite stars walking around, and like there's no security. There's like the atmosphere is insane. It's like the way I describe a set is like actually like what I would picture Hollywood as is if it were a live like universe.
Yes.
And And that it's like a very cool thing because people just like see the finished product of a movie and they're like, wow, that was cool. But to be able to watch how many people like are a part of a shot, just one shot, the amount of
One
effort that
shot.
goes into just like a 30-second thing. So I was on like a prom scene and I had like $1,000 Ralph Lauren polo suit on, and there's like 100 people that also, and we're like playing music and we're actually at a prom and they're filming it. And it's like a 30-second scene
Yeah.
and it's for Hulu, like a TV show. And I'm like, the amount of effort, money poured into
Nuts.
just this 30 seconds is like
Mhm.
surreal. Like, how would you equate that to what you did? Was it the same level of
It
effort,
was,
energy?
I mean, it was, yeah, it was nuts. I mean, for each scene, hundreds of crew, I mean, thousands of extras, for the golf scenes that I did specifically. I mean, I couldn't even, and again, I'm coming at this from like never being on a film set before, but blown away. I
Yeah.
mean, absolutely blown away. I would say, I agree. I would say even, for everybody out there, like just go be an extra in a movie once just to see kind of like what it's like, because it's cool. It's just, again, it's an experience. It's just really cool. And it's something that, like, if I hadn't done this, I may not have ever seen. And I'm so happy that I was able to kind of see it. Very cool.
In the barrier to entry for people that want to get on a set is so low. You could like
It is.
Google like extra casting and they will take anyone and anyone that just like
Yeah.
even if you have a car, they'll like literally take you and your car to like any film. Like it's pretty insane. And if you do look like a famous person like Adam Sandler, then maybe you could become a body double too, which I know people that do that for a lot,
Yep.
like Mark Wahlberg or whatever. And it's pretty surreal to like see people that do that type of work. Um, do you on the acting level, do you feel almost pigeonholed? Like a lot of people that do extra work consistently,
Mhm.
they become known as like, oh, that guy's just an extra. But for you, it's like you look like Adam Sandler, and that's a
Yeah.
huge brand. Do you feel like if you were to step into the acting world, you would just be pigeonholed as a guy who looks like Adam Sandler and not Max Kessler,
Yeah.
who could
I
do all
think
these
it's a
other things?
really, yeah, I think it's a really interesting question. It's something I'm battling right now on the social media front, to be honest. I love Adam, and I think like they provided me with this opportunity to be in such a fantastic movie, and I'll forever be grateful. And if there are other opportunities within the Happy Madison world, or on future things, like I'm all for it. With that being said, I want to be my own person too, of course, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want to identify as young Adam, like you want to be Max. Especially because, like, I don't know, like I have a personality, like I'm my own person. I think it's hard to break out of that narrative for sure. I think a lot of people that have recently followed me on Instagram and TikTok, they follow me because I look like an actor that they love. And I look like the actor, in when he was making his earlier movies that people are just attached to.
Yeah.
So to break out of it is hard, and you have to be strategic with how you do it. But I definitely want to do that. For my sake, and also for Adam's, like he's his own person too. Like I don't think I should be running around being Adam's mini me, of course, either. So yeah.
It is interesting because I would ask you what the strategy was to like unlock the ultimate Max Kessler. And it doesn't really help that your name is Max Kessler and it's like the whole like do over thing. So
I
it
know.
gives like even
Mhm.
more of like a pull towards the
Yeah.
Adam universe. My question is like there's a interesting duality between like you have a choice right now where you could go full blown, I'm Adam Sandler's mini me, I'm going to make a
Yeah.
brand, I'm going to monetize this, I could probably retire my family or do like whatever the thought pattern is. Like you have that open door opportunity and like you can extract whatever you want from it. But then there's the other side of like it's going to be infinitely harder for you to just go off and do your own thing if you wanted to keep making movies and making content.
Yeah.
And maybe that might feel internally rewarding, but like it's not going to be like an overnight internet success because does that kind of make sense? Like you have those two
No, it
universes
does.
right now.
It does, because I think people follow you and people relate to you and people want to be a part of your journey because of the Adam connection, right? Like
Yeah.
that is why they're there. I think and it is a conflict, an internal battle, because it's like that's easy. I could go tomorrow, go to the golf course and film, go to your home ball, right? Like, and
Yeah.
yell at the ball to go to your home. And I could probably get a million views on that video, whatever it is. People would love it because, again, the nostalgia aspect of it. But that's just not as rewarding for me, I guess, which may sound crazy, but it's not as rewarding for me to live in somebody else's shadows. Like, I think in 2016, that was what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm going to create content. I'm just going to be all young Sandler content, and I'm going to ride it as best I can. I was very inconsistent with it. Like, I didn't really keep to it, but it just wasn't as fun to me, I
Yeah.
guess. And that's important, I think, in doing this whole thing.
Do you have like some type of I know you said earlier that you want to live day to day,
Yeah.
but do you have some type of vision for like how the next couple of years is going to play out where you can see yourself like building this brand? And I see you posting.
Yeah, I think like and you could probably see it. I mean, leaning on the movie for the first few weeks, I think was important. So there's a few more videos that I have that will release that are more like movie driven. And then I think we're gonna probably sprinkle in Sandler content, all throughout. So like you'll see Max Sandler stuff continue to be posted, but also kind of like what I love personally, I'm a huge fan of like comedic skits that are done right. And I think like that's ultimately version one of where I want to go. Because I think that those can be done really well and they're fun to create. It's in the same vein of like comedy. Like if you were to start saying, okay, I'm going to do a day in the life of Max, like that's not what people follow Max because of the comedic relation. It's not like, let me see Max, make his oatmeal in the morning.
I love comedic skits, and I think if people follow you for Adam, there's the level of comedy if you could bring it and you could hit it correctly, where they'll stay for Max, but they follow Adam because he's funny, and then they'll stay with you because you're comedic, and it's like you share those two things.
Any suggestions, any feedback, by all means, shoot them on over.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I'm interested. Do you have any big podcasts you're excited to hop on, or any type of opportunities like news wise that you're looking forward to in the next several weeks and months?
Yeah, I did a cool one and it hasn't dropped yet. I don't know when it is. With Poobity. I don't know if you know that
Oh yeah.
Instagram. Yeah, so I did some cool things with them. I was in People magazine recently, which was really cool. And just like a bunch of others that it's been fun. I mean, like at the very least, you just connect with people, you meet people and you develop relationships and you never know where it's gonna go.
How does it work when you're not filming a Sandler thing? Do you stay in touch with Adam? Do you just like you don't like reach out? You're like I'll wait for him to reach out,
Yeah.
or do you know like in the future when they make another movie you'll be offered body double work? Like what's the
Yeah.
contact
I,
like
I
there?
I think like, I mean our relationship is I kind of wait for him. Like I'm not, sitting there texting him every day. I think that they loved what I did from what I heard, hopefully. But they loved what I did and I think they were very happy. And if there's a need for, somebody similar to me again in a future film, I don't see why, I wouldn't be offered that position. But I haven't been told that. I haven't been told any future films on the horizon. Like I haven't been privy to any of that information, but very good relationship there.
Yeah, I Hollywood's very hush hush about things, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you get a call, and it's
Oh,
like, oh,
I
we're
know.
we're, we're filming. Even when you film a movie, like the name that like when someone asks like, what are you guys filming? They always have code words.
I
Um,
know.
it's so
Funny.
weird. But okay, I will let you go with this. I'm curious, what in the meantime, what are you going to be focused on? Like, are you going to spend your days focusing on filming content? Are you going to go back to corporate America? Like, what is on the horizon for you?
Right now I think it's probably going to end up being a mixture of the both. So in corporate America still, I think that's just again, it's part of my story, it's part of my journey. Is being a part of that corporate America journey. I think this time around definitely more of a focus on social media,
Yeah.
definitely more of a focus on if things come up, if there's cool opportunities, I'm all for it. And something that like I would be all for that I think would be really fun to do would be to create, and it's not going to be me writing it because I'm not, a writer by any means, but writing or creating some sort of like 90s comedy short film esque where I can play, like whether it's like a basketball movie but like very 90s feel and 90s driven. I think that would be so fun. so fun to do.
I love that. That's gonna be awesome. If I could help in any way, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate you coming on today, Max. Seriously, I'm so
Yes.
happy this opportunity came out, and just to acknowledge you, dude. When I was just hanging out watching Instagram, doom scrolling randomly, and your reel popped up, and the reel where you explained the story of how you got the role in the do over, and like the serendipitous moment of like your name being in the do over and everything. It is completely surreal, and you've said it multiple times here. I think you've taken an opportunity that was sprinkled your way and you capitalized on it. You made a brand out of it and you did it to like the best extent that a human probably could do. And I'm very proud that you took that opportunity. Most people would laugh, they would have a fun moment and they would let it pass.
Yeah.
And you did not allow that to happen. And I think corporate America and your hard work ethic, even though we just met, like that definitely shows a lot. Being able to seize moments as they appear in your life, that I'm really happy to see that. So
No, appreciate it,
thank you.
Alex. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'm sure we'll be in touch,
Oh, we will. Yeah.
and yeah, thank you again. This was awesome.